Hey guys, it's me, Andrew. Just wanted to say happy Monday morning to y'all. I originally was planning to do this week's video actually on Luckin Coffee and the surrounding bankruptcy and whether or not I actually think that their total equity will be wiped out through the bankruptcy proceedings. Um, Gonna get a little lawyery on that, but some news just came out that just flipped the whole script. Uh, Bitcoin, as we know, has been on a tear lately. It's 10x in the past, 3 months. Turns out Tesla has been part of the reason behind that. And if you think that the memes can't coalesce any further, um, Elon apparently had under his Twitter for a while a Bitcoin uh, promotion as far as just saying Bitcoin and all that. Turns out it's because Tesla was buying $1.5 billion worth of the stuff. They just had a filing that the SEC has released, which says they plan on actually at some point accepting payments in the form of Bitcoin. They bought the $1.5 billion Bitcoin as kind of a future hedge against those sort of transactions. And apparently they think that Bitcoin is the future and does have some intertwining with tech. Now, since the news dropped, Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Last I looked, it was at $43,500. It had retraced a little bit to just below 43,000, but then I heard through a Clubhouse chat that it was breaking 44,000 on some quotes for some exchanges. Don't really know where the market's at with that. That's a moving missile that trying to hit would be really hard for investors. Just so you all know, as a disclaimer, this is not investment advice. This is just reaction to the news. My thoughts on this initially are that Bitcoin should profit handsomely from an endorsement like Tesla. I think Tesla is a market leader like Amazon, like Apple, in that, at least in our culture today, when a lot of millennials and Gen Zers see Tesla endorsing something or doing something, they think of it as the future. And they're ready to endorse it. So that's like a really interesting point for me because I feel like that means that it's only a matter of time before we see Apple, Google, Facebook all start to pile in. We know that Facebook was dithering a couple of years back on actually accepting crypto on their platform as payment versus not. There was a couple of articles I wrote on Bitcoin Magazine about that. I think I wrote them on Bitcoin Magazine. Anyhow, we are now seeing a huge endorsement by the world's leading car manufacturer on Bitcoin. Now, what effect does this have on Tesla prices? In the pre-market, Tesla is up. They're up about $20. They might retrace back to where they closed at on Friday. 870 isn't anything spectacular to scream at, but I do think this news is just coming out. So I'm curious to see what the market reaction is to this, whether investors and shareholders feel like this is a negative for Tesla to be diverting that much cash in a company that is frankly struggling to hit profitability metrics into what some perceive to be a speculative cryptocurrency and others perceive to be a really strong store of value. I know for a fact that the Wall Street Bets crowd is going to go nuts on this stuff. Given the recent marriage between Wall Street Bets and the Bitcoin maximalists, we've actually been seeing with their push on GameStop and a couple of other interesting stocks that I won't go into, we could easily see the same crowd get ignited by this and just skyrocket Tesla's stock price. Also, I'd be on the lookout for any of the exchange traded funds, GBTC, of course, coming to mind, just to see what's going to happen with Bitcoin directly. And I'm really curious about some of the altcoins too. Ether obviously hit all-time highs. I think that was yesterday. And then, for me personally, I have an investment as well into Polkadot. It's more speculative than anything else. I do own some Bitcoin, not enough to change my life. I also own some Tesla stock that, as of the recording of this video, I had written a call for a lot of my position on that was grossly out of the money for an explicitly high premium. In my head, even if I got called away on that, I would 4x my profit, 5x my profits on Tesla. Would be long-term capital gains, and I get the nice premium for it too. As far as what I think you should do whatever the hell you want. But in my opinion, this is the new news that is going to set the week. It wasn't even on CNN when I started recording this video 6 minutes ago. So it hasn't hit a lot of mainstream media. CNBC has started talking about it. And apparently Bloomberg is pushing the alerts out now to investors on their phones. But this is something that is brand spanking new. And I think just within less than an hour to go before market open, we're really going to see some hype and some frothiness off of this. So other things to watch for, I guess, I'd expect the other cars, OEMs, their futures right now apparently are down on who knows what news, maybe just because they are sucking and catching up on to Tesla on the autonomous vehicle space. But they're down in pre-market. I would also expect a lot of tech stocks to soar off this news as people are hoping for wider spread adoption. I think a lot of the digital currency based platforms and asset classes will obviously benefit just as a drag along. And then lastly, I actually am looking to see what the VIX does today. We had a really terrible jobs report. It's not worse than what we saw last April, but terrible compared to my expectations. And I think that we're seeing that there was a great article in, I believe it was the Wall Street Journal, might have been the New York Times this morning, that suggested that Biden's pushing for this much stimulus because he'd rather risk inflation than not doing enough to get us to a natural zero rate of unemployment. That's a whole different topic. But either way, I think we're going to see some froth. So I guess that's a long-winded way of saying check the VIX. Please look at the VIX. I am not normally one to speculate on the VIX, but I do think if I was a betting man and had a gun to my head, I would be expecting the VIX to go up somewhat on just some of the news that we're seeing. Anyhow, thanks a lot for tuning in, and good luck trading this week.